Wake up, my darling. What makes you sleep so sound? Highwaymen are coming. Gonna burn your still house down.
Hello, and welcome to the Fickle Folk, a podcast about the personal histories of ever-changing folk songs. I'm Liz.
And I am Ross.
Hi, Ross.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's nice. Today we'd like to talk about a song called Darlin, Darlin, Cora, as I sing it.
Darlin, Cora. This is one of our favorites.
So Liz,
Yeah.
tell me, when's the last time you got good and drunk?
You know what?
What?
Not even once.
What?
Because we're both the Mormons.
Yeah, we're both Mormons. Well, okay. Riddle me this.
Sure.
When's the last time you made bathtub gin and sold it on the black market?
You know, last week... No, never.
I had no idea you were not cool like that.
But I actually have strong opinions about bathtub gin.
What?
I think it was a remarkable, just overcoming of some unjust laws of the time. I think now people shouldn't do it. And even I think maybe back then it was too dangerous to do. But I think it was kind of like indomitable spirit.
That is a very interesting opinion for someone like you to have.
You should say...
I mean, I don't disagree. I think that's fascinating. I think for a lot of people during Prohibition, it was, a source of income at a time when income was scarce.
And good for them for finding something that people wanted. I don't know.
Like drug dealing.
Okay. Maybe.
Good for all those meth dealers for getting through the 2009 downturn.
Okay, now maybe my opinion is subject to change.
You know what, Mr. Capone? Good for you.
No, okay, all right. Okay, so we're talking about the moonshine today.
Yes, let's take it a couple years before then.
Okay.
To the dawn of civilization.
A couple?
Yeah, a couple few. There's all sorts of interesting things about the production and consumption of early alcohol. First of all, it's probably safer to drink than your water. And, I mean, alcohol, while it is probably not something that you want to inject, as was suggested recently, it is an antiseptic. And you are less likely to get sick from drinking liquid that has alcohol in it.
Amoebas aren't prone to live in alcohol?
Not as much, no. It has its own problems.
Sure.
Also, it tastes better.
Than water?
Than brackish water.
Sure.
There's also evidence that in North Africa, they were culturing antibiotics, sort of on accident. They were culturing penicillin derivatives.
Our people are living longer. We should drink more alcohol.
Yes, you can test the bones of these early civilizations and find that they got over injuries and diseases. And, what do you know? There's antibiotics in their bones. There's also, religious aspects to it because it is consciousness altering.
And I assume that people were gathering together and it was kind of a community building.
It's a community building effort. And it could change the way you think. It could make you healthier. It's their food source. There's evidence that human civilization has been largely shaped in positive ways by alcohol. And this is from two teetotalers.
Right. So, alcohol, important to early man.
And let's fast forward, a couple years.
Sure. One or two.
To the Prohibition.
Sure.
Fast forward 50,000 years. And
we come to a love story.
Yeah. So this song, Darlin, Cora, pieced together from another song in the early 1900s called Gamblin' Man, where it sort of goes back and forth in its verses to talking about this gambling man and his sweetheart, Darlin, Cora, who is also a hard-drinking, gambling girl.
But they love each other.
I think there's...
They love each other.
I do not know why you are so sold on the romantic aspects of this song.
Because that's why I fell in love with this song. Because he loves her so much and he's so sad that she's gone. Wake up! Wake up!
That's what you connected with?
Star-crossed lovers.
You didn't connect with the conflicting harmonies?
I also love the music.
Yeah.
But he loves her so much.
So, okay, sidebar. My little sister at my great-grandmother's funeral comes up to the casket and says, "Wake up, Grandma. Wake up.
Oh, no.
Wake up." She's not distraught or anything, but everyone's like trying to decide whether to laugh or be sad and how sad to be.
Oh, no. How old is she?
She's 3 or 4. It was very sweet. She didn't wake up.
No.
If she had, completely different problem.
Whole other story.
So Darlin, Cora is about moonshine, gambling, and loss, and some of the dangerous aspects of living the moonshiner's lifestyle.
The highwaymen.
Or the revenue men, depending on the version you're listening to. The revenue men being essentially alcohol, tobacco, and firearms back then.
The law.
The law is coming. Wake up, my darling. What makes you sleep so sound? Highwaymen are coming. Gonna burn your still house down. The first time I saw Cora, she was sitting on the banks of the sea. 45 round her body, and a banjo on her knee. Dig a hole in the meadow. Dig a hole in the cold dark ground. Dig a hole in the meadow. Gonna lay Darlin, Cora down. The next time I saw Cora, she was standing at the door, shoes and stockings in her hand, and her little bare feet on the floor. Dig a hole in the meadow. Dig a hole in the cold dark ground. Dig a hole in the meadow. Gonna lay Darlin, Cora down. The last time I saw Cora, had a dram glass in her hand. She was sipping down that sweet liquor with a low-down gambling man. Wake up, my darling. What makes you sleep so sound? Highwaymen are coming. Gonna burn this whole damn town. So Liz, if you were to make moonshine, how would you make it?
In a large copper barrel with some tubes.
Yes.
Maybe I'd put it up in a tree in the Ozarks.
And it just sort of naturally comes.
Yeah. And then I'd leave it there for a while and it would drip into one of those little jugs you can make music out of with some X's on the side.
Nice. I mean, you're on the right track, maybe. But here's a quick and dirty version.
All right. From the expert.
Yes, from the expert who watched some YouTube tutorials. Incidentally, in a lot of places, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to make moonshine for the purpose of the consumption of alcohol, but you can make as much moonshine as you want for the purpose of making your own ethanol.
Really?
Or making your own alcohol for
that
fuel.
sounds so dangerous.
Yes. You can make as much moonshine as you want if you're going to use it for fuel.
I thought you were going to say as much as you want for the purposes of like research.
Nope. If you say you're using it for fuel, it's fine. Incidentally, you don't want to drink the stuff that's being used for fuel because
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's between 15 and like 25% alcohol, and the stuff you drink is much less than that. We're talking like 5 to 12% alcohol.
I bet I could handle it.
What are you talking about? Based
I'm
on
just
what
kidding.
metric?
What did the YouTube videos say?
Okay, so you basically make oatmeal out of it. So you boil a bunch of corn and malted barley, and then you take the boiled water out, you add brewer's yeast to it, and you let it sit at room temperature for a week.
So when you say oatmeal, there's no oats.
No, but I mean,
A meal.
people don't eat just
Cornmeal?
boiled cornmeal. I mean, I guess you do in the South, you have grits, but this isn't hominy corn either, so it's not quite the same thing.
Okay, so you've got sort of a grain mash.
Yes, you have a grain mash. But you don't need that after you've boiled it and then drained all the water out. You let the yeast do its thing, poop out all of the alcohols from eating the sugars, and then to get the alcohol out of this morass of bacterium, you want to heat it up and let that evaporate to the top and then percolate down. Because alcohol has a much lower boiling point than water, so the alcohol will boil out and then you can let it condense and percolate into your XXX jug. So that makes it's dangerous to make. It's dangerous to drink because you can have methanol and ethanol in it. It's dangerous to transport because it's flammable.
Sure.
It's dangerous to...
And you're being chased by the coppers.
Yes, it's dangerous to sell because black market selling is just dangerous. Meeting drug dealers. Dangerous to be around people in the process. It's kind of like if everybody wanted crack cocaine, and we do, but imagine you could make it from breakfast cereal.
There'd be a lot more.
I don't have to go down to Mexico for my black tar heroin anymore.
Sure.
Or to Indiana, apparently.
So it's dangerous. At every step, it's dangerous. And Cora found out.
Yes, she did. We're not quite sure. It doesn't make it clear what kills her.
Yeah.
But sort of the moonshining lifestyle does not aid itself to longevity.
It didn't agree with her.
No.
I bet it was bad moonshine. She just drank some ethanol, fell asleep, and never woke up.
She got methanol poisoning. I mean, that happens. It's sort of a noob mistake, I would imagine.
Maybe she was training up the next generation of moonshiners.
It could be. A lot of the not fine moonshiners, but people who are just trying to make stuff to sell really fast, in order to get it to have that moonshine taste, they'd put like dead rats and stuff in it.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I don't really see her as a super fastidious personality.
No.
I mean, she plays a banjo by the sea.
While wearing a gun.
She
doesn't wear shoes when she's
standing at the door. She's with this guy.
Yeah, she's with the singer. And, singers, you know how they are.
Sipping down that sweet liquor.
With a low-down gambling man.
Oh, he must feel so guilty. He calls himself low down because he feels so bad that he dragged her into this life.
Maybe she dragged him into this life. Maybe he should feel
bad.
Maybe he was a normie and he saw just this thick-bodied hottie playing that sweet claw hammer banjo
on the beach
and thinks, I'll have what she's having. And what she was having was XXX whiskey.
I like to think, and hear me out, because this is just my own personal opinion about a lovely love song, that she's being buried. His world is coming crashing down because he loved her so much and she's going to be buried. And so the whole moonshine, the revenue officers or the highwaymen or whoever's coming, that's a metaphor for the grave diggers who are going to come and burn his whole world to the ground because she's the one in the ground. And that makes him really sad.
Aw, his wife dying made him sad. Is that what you're telling me?
That's so romantic. So that's what I like about a lovely, sweet, innocent love song about death and gambling and moonshine and possibly gangs, like rival gangs.
And true love. Yeah. So in this version, I like to sing The Highwaymen Are Coming. So in this version, it'd be like the rival gangs or people who are coming to steal their moonshine or maybe steal their secret recipe. But in other versions, it's the revenue men are coming. So,
which would be like
ATF, yeah.
The government.
Government on 3.
Government.
The next time I saw Cora, she was standing at the door.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Fickle Folk. You can also listen to episodes and read show notes at theficklefolk.wordpress.com. If you have thoughts about today's show, we would love to hear from you. You can write to us at theficklefolk@gmail.com.
Dig a hole in the well, dig a hole in the hole.